Hello and welcome to Malaysia for round 2 of season 3 of F1 2013 career mode, and we're kicking things off here in qualifying 2, and we managed to get ourselves into 9th place, and we're just skipping to the end of the session. I think I should be safe to get through into Q3, and it looks like we are. So from what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to retire, because I know the tyre wear is so bad around this track that we just need that fresh rubber at the start of the race. So let's skip ahead now to the race. Alright, so here we are in the garages of the pre-race session, and we've got a 19% chance of rain for this race. I think that's pretty similar to what we had in Season 2, if you remember that race, where we managed to storm through the field, and then on the final lap we put on a set of intermediate tyres, and then managed to win the race in like the last metre of the race. So if we can have a similar race to that, then that would be absolutely outstanding. But here the strategy is today we're going to do option, prime, option, prime, option, so 3 stops, but I'm not so confident in my tyre wear, so I'm going to go a bit safe. I'm going to put on a extra prime set, and that might just get us through to the end of the race. I'm not too sure. I think we might even need to go option, prime, such as the terrible tyre wear around this track. So we'll see how we go. I might just leave it like that, and then we'll just make some judgments based on which tyre works best for the race, because there's some tracks on this game where the option tyre actually lasts just as long as the prime tyre, and sometimes you just need to suss that out, and by finding that out you can make your race a whole lot better. So we'll stick with that. We've stretched out all of our sets of tyres to as long as we can. At the teammate challenge we're smashing Paul di Resta so far, but here we go, off to the grid. Wish me luck.
Walk, little walk, small talk, big thoughts. Gonna tell them all just what I want. That street, 2 streets, I see you and me hanging on the empty swings. Count high, low, don't worry, my eyes are closed. I'm the Superman and it's my show.
Alright, so here we are on the grid of the Malaysian Grand Prix, round 2 of Season 3 of F1 2013 career mode. We managed to win the race last time. Can we continue this form into Malaysia? And away we go for round 2, and we've got off to an absolutely terrible start. I'm just the worst starter in the world on this game. I'm probably worse than Mark Webber. That's probably where I get my starts from. But we're going round the outside coming into turn 1. We found ourselves a nice gap, and we're still in 9th place where we started, but we're going to have the ideal line coming through turns 2 and on the exit of turn 3, and we should pick up a couple of places up the inside here. I'm going to switch to the inside after I clear myself from Massa. We're going to go up the inside of Hulkenberg, Vettel, and a couple other cars. Webber goes slowly into turn 3. Is that turn 3 or turn 4? I'm not sure. But we've got Vettel on our outside, and he backs out of it there. So we've secured 4th place in the early stages of this race, and now, as you can see there, we just got a wall of understeer in the dirty air. I think I turned in a bit late for that corner as well, so that didn't help either, but this Force India really isn't good through high-speed corners, and that's something that's going to hinder me, especially on this track, but in many other races in the future, so I'll need to I'll need to work on the setup, that's for sure. I'll probably need to up the aero, or maybe even play with the balance settings or something, because I can't run too much aero, otherwise I'll lose a lot of straight line speed. And the Force India isn't too good, to be honest. Despite having a Mercedes engine, it's actually not that great in terms of straight line speed, so I'm in a bit of a crossroads, because my car isn't that great in either area, so it's something I'll need to work on. But here on lap 2, Fernando Alonso was actually leading the race here, and now he's dropped down into 3rd, so he's having some kind of problems. It might be terminal, or it might just be okay. Maybe he just had a little mistake coming into the final corner, and then both the Mercedes pounced on him up the inside into turn 1. But since Alonso's going slowly now, I'm going to try and strike while I can, and skipping to lap 3 now. And I think we're going to have a dive at Alonso very soon. We're getting a bit closer, but now Hamilton is going slowly into turn 4, and he blocks us off nicely. I should have followed Alonso through there in turn 4, but you know, I just kind of got held up by both drivers really, and now that allows Nico Rosberg to get away. He's got about a 2-second lead now, and again we're getting so much understeer through the high-speed corners, mainly down to the dirty air effect, but you know, this Force India and myself, I'm really not a good driver on high amounts of fuel, but as the fuel load burns down, we should be okay. But we go up the inside of Hamilton into turn 9, and we have a little bit of a touch there, which allows Alonso to get away, because now we're battling, we're going side by side, and we're holding each other up. Hamilton goes wide there and into the gravel. Despite me giving him a little touch, it wasn't enough to send him into the gravel there. You know, he was still making the corner fine until he pretty much put himself into the gravel, so that's a bit disappointing for Hamilton there, but that now sort of releases the pressure just momentarily, because Kimi Räikkönen is now going to strike on us here, and he's got a whole lot more straight line speed than me. I'm running with, I think, 4-1 wings around this track, and it seems that the AI are just flying past me. They've got so much more grip, especially in high-speed corners, but they're getting really good traction out of that penultimate corner, and that's probably one of my worst corners on this game. I really can't get that corner right to save my life. But here we are on lap 8. It's nearing the end of this very first stint. I think we were scheduled to come in on lap 13, and the tyres are already starting to go off, but we managed to put in some really good laps up until this stage, and we've managed to reel in Alonso ever so slightly lap after lap, and now I think we're in striking distance. We've got DRS in the last 2 straights, so we're going to sneak it up the inside coming into turn 1, and we get the move done. We're now into position 2, and now we can chase down Nico Rosberg, but it's only going to be a matter of time before I put on a set of prime tyres. As I said before, these option tyres are feeling pretty terrible at the moment. I got confused there because the option tyres for this round are actually the mediums, and the white wall tyre, normally at most tracks they are the prime tyres, so it's easy to get confused. But here on lap 9, I'm coming in for my first pit stop of the race. I'm anticipating that drop off. I think if I would have stayed out for another lap, then my tyres probably would have gone off the cliff, and I would have lost a lot of time to Rosberg, so I didn't want to do that. I'm going for the undercut. I'm hoping that by the time Nico comes in for his stop, I should be in the lead by a couple of seconds, because the undercut is so overpowered on this game, especially on high degradation tracks like Malaysia. We should have a clear advantage, but we'll need to really manage the tyres from here on in, maybe even go for a 4-stop race. It's going to be very tricky. 4 stops. We're going to have to make up about 17 seconds. If we do that with the undercut, we might be okay, but we'll see how it all plays out. You never know, we might have safety cars as well that might bring us back into the game, but a couple laps later we've caught up to sort of the mid-pack in the top 10, and we've got Lewis Hamilton right in front of us, who hasn't stopped yet. I think the majority of the field hasn't stopped yet, so I'm the only one in the field who has made their first pit stop at the moment. We go purple with a 141.855. No, that's a 655, my apologies. But I'm going up into fast and trying to get in front of Hamilton as soon as I can. I'm still trying to make lap time here, just qualifying lap after qualifying lap, just trying to just get up the field as far as I can, and we pass Hamilton there for P7, and he hangs on in there, but then he backs out of it because it's only a 1-line corner through here. But what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to stroke in so many good laps in a row so that by the time all the leaders come in, I should have a clear advantage. And as soon as Nico comes in, I'm going to put the engine down into lean revs and then conserve the tyres once I have this lead. And we go around the outside of Mark Webber into turn 9, who has absolutely no traction now. I think that AI are really struggling now because they stretched out these tyres a really long way, but this strategy is really going to help them in the long run as we pass all the cars in the pit lane. That puts us up into P2 with Massa now making his stop, and that now relinquishes us into position 1. So now we have the effective lead. It's time to conserve the fuel, conserve the tyres, and watch this here. Nico Rosberg right behind me has some kind of brake failure, or he just makes a massive mistake and goes off into the gravel there. So he was the effective leader after the first round of pit stops, and now that's relinquished a massive gap behind. I think that I had a lead of about 7 seconds there, but I've opted to stay out for a really long time here, saving the tyres, saving fuel, until now on lap 22, where Kimi Räikkönen has now caught me by over 7 seconds. My tyres are absolutely destroyed at this stage, and I've only done 12, 13 laps on this set of prime tyres, and that's absolutely ridiculous. I'm trying to go up the inside of Kimi Räikkönen there. If I wouldn't have passed him before that final corner, I would have made my pit stop, because then Kimi would have stretched out a massive lead if I would have stayed out another lap without me being in front of him. I hope that makes sense for you guys, but as soon as Kimi gets the lead and gets out in front, then I'll be making my pit stop. So as long as I've got the lead here, I can hold up these guys and try and get myself back into that 3-stop window, because I'm trying to make my tyres last. I'm trying to sort of get myself back in sync with the AI by doing extra laps. So here on lap 24, I've stayed out another 2 laps despite my tyres absolutely going off the cliff on lap 22. Kimi is flying up my inside through the fast right-hand corners. I don't know what the corner names are or what the number is, so I apologise for that, but we've got absolutely no grip in these tyres. Despite them being orange, they feel really bad, and I definitely need to come into the pits very soon. I'm thinking about it probably on this lap, because I'm starting to lose about 2 seconds a lap to everyone behind. And you can see there's a train there on the mini-map, and yeah, if I stay out for any longer, then we're probably going to have a 10-way horse for the lead of the race, so that's not what we want. We're coming through the penultimate corner now. We've just got so much understeer. Kimi is stuck behind us. He's got nowhere to go now until he gets the DRS, and he's going to fly up our inside coming into the final corner. And once again, if Kimi has the lead here and if I can't get past him, I will pit, but it looks like we've outbroken him and we still have the lead, so I'm still going to stay out for another lap. I'm going to, as I said before, just trying to make the most out of these tyres just so I can avoid possibly doing an extra pit stop later on in the race. But Kimi's coming back at me now, coming into turn 1. I'm trying to burn up my fuel just to stay in the lead here, but we understeer wide. We've just got no grip on the tyres now. They've completely gone, and Kimi's going to go around my outside as we lose the back end massively. Almost touch wheels with Kimi there. We actually did touch wheels there, but I'm going to put it back up into fast, just trying to get the lead back, using up half of my KERS now. That's not going to be good for later on in the lap when I actually need my KERS on those last 2 straights. So I think this is going to be the lap where I come in. I just can't defend anymore. It's pretty much a lost cause now. I need to come in for... I'll probably come in for a set of option tyres now, because these prime tyres have proven to be absolutely terrible. I got, 10 laps out of my option tyres. They didn't feel too bad, but 11 or 12 laps out of primes, and they felt absolutely terrible. So I think the option tyres might actually be the better tyre to be on, and Kimi gets the lead back coming into the final corner. But I think I'm going to pit on this lap. Yes, I am. Braking late, so we can carry a bit of extra speed into the pit lane, and there we go. We'll see how we end up after this pit stop. We need to push after we make this stop, because the AI will be coming in less than 5 laps time, so I'll expect to have the lead back as soon as everyone else pits, but in the meantime I need a good pit stop. Let's see what it is. 3.2 seconds, so that's about 2/10 slower than what you'd expect a F1 2013 pit stop to be, but that's still okay. We are going to make up most of the time due to this undercut, so we'll see how we go. And now cutting to lap 30, and we're going to go up the inside of Hamilton, who hasn't made his second pit stop yet, so he's going to be a lot slower. We leave him just enough room on the outside to squeeze through, and that's position 4 done. And I believe there's a couple cars in the pit lane, so we should be up into position 2 if my maths is correct, and it's not, so there we go, into position 1. So cutting now to lap 34, and it looks like Sebastian Vettel is now right on our gearbox. It's only been a couple of laps since my last pit stop, and to be honest guys, my tyre wear has been absolutely shit. We came in on lap 25 for a new set of option tyres, when at the start of the race we only did 9 laps as well, with qualifying laps as well. So my tyre wear has been so bad that I'm only matching a 50% race distance length in terms of a race stint. So now we definitely have to switch to a 4-stopper. But the benefit is we're going to have fresh tyres for the rest of the race. We should be a lot faster than the rest of the field, so we can charge through, make up a lot of positions later on in the race. So that's what I'm going to do. From here on in, let's go catch these pricks. Well, that was fun while it lasted. It's now lap 46 and we're coming in for another pit stop in this race. We only managed to make up 4 positions in this stint, which is a little bit disappointing. At the end of the last stint we were leading the race, so now we've dropped back 2 positions in about 5, maybe 6 seconds. We should hopefully make that up later on in the race. But my engineer came over the radio. He said that rain is expected to come in in about 5 minutes time, so I couldn't stretch out my set of prime tyres any longer. There's no guarantee that the rain will come down in 5 minutes. Sometimes it takes longer, so I wasn't going to bumble about on dead tyres for 5 laps, maybe even 6 laps while I waited for the rain to come around. I would have lost like 20 seconds, so better off taking the hit now, getting fresh set of tyres on the car, and now about 5 minutes later the rain is now coming down. So now this should level out the field a little bit. The AI were coming in for their pit stop anyway, so it sort of helped them out a little bit. So I've actually made that extra pit stop, but now I won't get that benefit of extra rubber for the rest of the race. So that's a little bit of a bummer, but we should be able to rejoin where we were as soon as everyone else makes their pit stops. So I'm going to be the first in the field here to put on a set of intermediate tyres. I could feel the grip just fading away in the last couple of laps, and I thought this was the lap I needed to come in for inters. And we'll see how this all plays out. The inters sometimes don't work in these kind of conditions. Sometimes you need to wait just a little bit longer for the rain to fall down a little bit harder, but it seems to have worked out. The AI waited 2 laps before they put on their set of intermediate tyres, so they lost quite a lot of time on this second lap here, and now we've regained third in this race with Paul di Resta right in front of us on intermediate tyres, who seems to be struggling quite a bit. But we've got our position back, we've got third, and I think that's pretty much all I could ask for now as we cut to lap 54 now, and it seems the rain is actually getting heavier now, and it might just be enough to warrant wet tyres as we lose the back end on the ripple strip there. We just got no grip now. I think it's just about time for a set of wet tyres, but I'm not too sure if it's time for wets, because the AI seem to be a lot faster than me and they're still on the intermediate tyres. I don't know really what's happening. I've just lost all the temperature in my tyres and the AI is still carrying on like usual. They're actually a lot faster than what they were before, so it's really confusing as we completely run wide through turn 9 now, and we're going to lose a whole bunch of positions. We've just got no grip in the tyres, and the AI seem to be absolutely fine as they just sail past me as I drop into position 5 now. I've got fuel problems as well, tyre temperature problems. This race is absolutely going to crap now, so I think I need to come in for a set of wet tyres this time. I just think I need to just engage in that damage limitation, because I'm just going to lose multiple seconds on this last lap. I think it might just be worth putting on a set of wet tyres and then hoping that the rain comes down really heavily in this last lap, so I might be able to make up a couple of positions like I did back in Season 2, if you reminisce back to that moment. So we go back up the inside of Massa, but the AI just seems to be absolutely flourishing in these conditions, and I've just got nothing to fight these guys with, so I need to come in for wet tyres. Last lap now, and I think wherever I come out of the pit lane here might just be my finishing position. But hopefully we rejoin still in the top 10. It seems to be not many cars behind me, so that's one benefit. But I'm really hoping that the rain comes down on the last lap here. Pit stop. 3.1 seconds, a little bit better than our last stop. But still, it doesn't matter too much, as we're not really racing anyone competitively anymore in this race. Coming around the final corner now, Fernando Alonso has taken out this race win, and we only just started to really catch the AI in front, so the strategy really didn't work there. But unfortunately, I don't think there was really much I could do there, as we come across the line in a disappointing, but still solid, 7th place.
Nice job.
There we go. That's the Malaysian Grand Prix done and dusted. We were leading this race briefly for a few stints there. Dropped down into 3rd, and then the glitch. I don't even know if it's a glitch. Maybe my tyres just wouldn't work in intermediate conditions. I dropped down into 7th place, which will cost us some points in the championship, but we're still leading, surprisingly. If you remember back to round 1, a lot of the main contenders had a really bad race in Melbourne, so that's why I'm still in the picture for this championship at the moment. But we still need to put in some good performances in China and Bahrain, as those are some of my weaker tracks, and Spain is actually going to be really tough as well. That's a tough tyre wear track, but we've got through Malaysia. We're still leading the championship, so that's one positive. Force India is 4th in the drivers' standings, with my teammate Paul di Resta absolutely terrible so far in this season. He's not scored any points. Hopefully that changes soon. But that's been the Malaysian Grand Prix, guys. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Comment below if you've had this kind of tyre temperature glitch before. But that's been this race in Malaysia. Until the next one, guys. I'll see you next time.